This is Full Count, the show for baseball fans by baseball fans that takes the extra base and delivers a save each and every week. Presented by Dinger Bats and DingerBats.com. Now here are your hosts, the round mound of sound, Keith Gibson, and owner of Dinger Bats, Kyle Drone.
Play ball!
Hello again, baseball fans, and happy 4th of July weekend, and welcome to Full Count. This is Keith Gibson alongside me, owner of Dinger Bats, and my tag team partner, Kyle Drone, as we bring you another episode here on this holiday weekend. Kyle Drone, it is America's birthday. We've got a lot to cover, but first off, how are things down in big city of Ridgeway?
Oh, they're booming. We're busy cutting bats, getting them out all over the place. So
that's good. Things
are good, man. How's everything up north?
I think up north is busy as well. You know, when you got a 3-month-old, keeps you going. So
that will definitely keep you busy.
Yes, it will. But love to see baseball season in full swing. We've got a lot to talk about today, including Bobby Bonilla Day. That was back on Thursday, July 1st. We'll give you some details about Bobby Bo Day. It's one of my favorite days of the year, Kyle.
Oh, I know. It's fun.
And then we'll talk about how the Cubs have went from a combined no-hitter to can't win a ball game. We'll talk about that here in our first segment as well. And then I know, you enjoy that thoroughly. And then we'll move on. We'll talk about Hector Santiago and the Mariners getting a 10-game suspension for foreign substance and how that plays out between a starter and reliever. So we'll touch base on that a little bit, too. He's the first one. Then we'll talk about Kyle Drones, one of his favorite players, Trey Turner. Hit for the cycle again this last week, and we'll talk about how he and Kyle Schwarber have brought the Nats back into contention, with Schwarber having one of the best months the best month of his career, and we'll touch base on it here a little bit later too, so stay tuned. We're going to talk trades and potential trades and all kinds of things here on Full Count this week, so we're glad you're with us on this holiday weekend. Hey, if you get together with your family and friends this holiday weekend, make sure you tell them about Full Count. Make sure you tell them how much fun we have on the show, how much, if you enjoy baseball, you're a baseball fan, and let them know that they can go into DingerBats.com and download it or listen to it, or heck, even if you're at a party this weekend, play it for them. Let them listen to us. You can always listen to it through Amazon, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify. You can find us everywhere on your mobile devices and where you download podcasts. So we appreciate you joining us. Make sure you join our Facebook group, Full Count the podcast, and where we put up great baseball information, shows, and other specials and things from Dinger Bats. So, and we got some great things coming as well. But Kyle Drone, let's get started and go around the horn and talk Bobby Bonilla Day every July 1st. So a little background, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who Bobby Bonilla is, he was a outfielder / third baseman / first baseman. Started with the Pirates back in the late 90s. Was part of that great Pirates team with Barry Bonds, Andy Van Slyke. Who else was on there? Jay Bell.
Tony Pena. Let's see. Doug Drabeck was pitching.
That's right.
Sid
Yeah.
Bream. A lot of good players. They did some damage in the Central back then.
Yeah, and was it Chico Lean on that team?
Chico Lean, that was.
Michael LaValliere was behind.
Or Jose Lean.
Was it
Jose Lean?
I don't remember. I
think it was Jose. I believe it was Jose.
Was Chico Lean? He played for the Royals, didn't he? I don't know.
I think you're
one of the leans.
I think you're getting your leans wrong.
But anyway, Bobby Bonilla ended up signing a contract with the Mets, and the Mets decided to buy his contract out in 2000. He had $5.9 million remaining on that deal. Instead of
wait a second. Chico Lean was Jose Lean.
Oh, that's the same guy. Hey, all right.
Yeah, my bad. I had to Google that because I was like, man, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so we're both right.
Wait, well, yeah, that's right. We both got the right leans going.
All right. Continue. My bad.
All right, you're right. So the Mets wanted to buy out Bobby Bonilla's contract. $5.9 million left on it in 2000. But instead of paying that $5.9 million at the time, they agreed to pay $1.2 million for 25 years starting July 1st, 2011, with 8% interest. So for 25 years, Bobby Bonilla was going to get paid $1.2 with interest,
right,
for 25 years. So that now equates to $1.9 million every July 1st until 2035. And Kyle
Compound
Drone in
interest. It's a beautiful
2035,
thing.
he will be 72 years old. How, as you just said, a beautiful thing. How beautiful of a contract is this?
Oh man, I mean, it's like the smartest thing anyone's ever done in baseball, as far as I know. Especially for that time period of the '90s. I mean, I guess he came out of the '90s with plenty of money and wanted to be set for his retirement. So kudos to him or his agent or financial advisor, whoever did it. But it's always fun to when it comes around and know he's getting that big paycheck and sit back and think, man, the Mets could have got off so much cheaper,
Well, they could have a ton cheaper. So let me ask you, if you were granted $1.9 million a year for 25 years, you'd be able to spend that every year, wouldn't you?
Maybe for the first few, but man, if this is a challenge, Brewster Million style, then, challenge accepted. But man, maybe for a few years, but after a while, man, that's got to be hard to spend.
It would be. I mean, we're in 2021 now. He's 10 years into it, so this is the 10th anniversary of it, of him getting, the $1.9 million. He's still got 14 years to go. So Bobby Bo right now is 58 years old, drawing $1.9 million from a major league team. Smart man.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
But here's the kudos to this, Kyle Drone. In my research, I
Okay.
was doing a little research. Not only does he have one deferred contract, Bobby Bonilla has two.
Really?
A second deferred contract plan he has with the Mets and Orioles pays him $500,000 for 25 years. It began in 2004.
Okay. Well, what's the pay date on that, and why hasn't it got as much fanfare?
Well, probably because it's not as much money, but 2004.
Well, it's half as much. It's not like
Right.
it's just 500,000. So let's not talk about it.
I didn't find a payout date on it, but once again, smart. He had a good age. I don't want to know who his agent
absolutely.
is. I gotta find out how that is.
Not only once, twice. That's brilliant.
So he's bringing in $2.4 million from 2011 till today, and he's still got 2029. So 8 more years left on the second deferred contract, and 14 on the other one. So yeah, Bobby Bo's going to be all right for a while.
I think so. Good for him.
Yep. And you know what? I'm still shocked of why other guys haven't tried that though. Why not?
Maybe he was super smart with his money. I don't, which I think players are way better with their money than they used to be. But it's, who knows?
I mean, if someone wanted to sign me for a $30 million deal, I'd take, 2 or 3 up front, and then I'd take the rest deferred. I'd do that in a heartbeat to know that I had that's retirement right there, Daddy-O.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the scenario when anybody would give you that much money.
They wouldn't. I'll never see that much money in my life.
If I were you, I'd take it all up front. Because
you're like we talked. Like we talked last week. Pay me early.
Right.
Anyway, all right. So let's move on to another topic here on the show this week. Let's talk about the Cubs threw a combined no-no against the Dodgers last Thursday night. Zach Davies, Ryan Tepera, Andrew Chafin, the sheriff, and Craig Kimbrell threw the combined no-hitter against the Dodgers. And ladies and gentlemen, last Thursday night was the last time the Cubs won a game. So congratulations to the Cubs. They've lost six or seven straight, and it's gotten good. But the funny part about all this is the relievers had no clue there was a no-hitter going on because at Dodger Stadium, the bullpen can't see anything. So when they came in, they had no clue until they finished up their innings. And Kimbrell had no clue until Wilson Contreras fist pumped at the end of the game. So that's pretty cool. But the 7th no-hitter this season in Major League Baseball, Kyle Drone. We're not to the All-Star break. Are we going to see a duplicate of this in the? I mean, tell me right now, over or under, are we going to see more than 5.5 in the second half?
Oh, I mean, I'm going under for sure. Especially with the restrictions on the sticky substance, which I don't think played a big part. Honestly, I think a lot. No hitters happen. I would attribute it more to the swing and miss, launch angle, rate, whatever the heck is going on, than I would the pitching or the stickiness or a sticky substance rather. But I still don't see them continuing this pace. It's just it's ridiculous.
Agreed. I think 5.5 is a large number. I threw that out there. I think I'd take the under if it was maybe even 2.5. That's a lot of no hitters in one season. But I think we may see one in the second half. But I don't think we'll see maybe two at the most. But I don't see any more than that. But you know what? It wouldn't be the first time this guy was wrong. So who knows? Who knows?
It's tough to tell. There's so much craziness going on in the game that you can't. It's tough to bet on something like that. But yeah, I would say definitely under 5. I mean, I'd be safe with that. Probably under 3. I mean, 3.5. Let's go 3.5 to be safe.
Yeah, 3.5. I'll take the under on that too. Let us know what you think. Over under the 3.5 no hitters in the second half of the Major League Baseball season. So I'd like to hear what our listeners.
But they have to be 9 inning. They have to be 9 inning.
Yes, 9 innings. Official.
Right.
But let's talk a little Cardinals Cubs real quick here. Cubs in a big swoon to end June. June wasn't as good as May for the Cubbies, who now find themselves trailing the Brewers by more than 5 games. You've said it all along. We both have agreed. Sell. Yeah. All-Star break coming up next week. What's it going to take for the Cubs to be buyers? Because if they keep losing, it's definitely sell. But is there any way they become buyers?
I just have never seen it unless they just went on a ridiculous run and just won the Central by 10, 12 games and had a legitimate chance at winning a series. I think they are looking to rebuild from the get-go. I mean, look what they did with Schwarber. Look what they did with Yu Darvish. Bryant, just because of the damage in the past, I don't think they can re-sign him. Even if they gave him every dollar he wanted, I still don't think he'd be happy. So I think they got to move him and get what they can while they can. And I think he can be a great player, a great fit somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I just don't see the Cubs buying. It would just be a waste of money right now.
I agree with you on that. I think, Cub fans, if you think this is a World Series contending team, you have spent too many years in 2016, or you have not watched Cubs baseball long enough, because this is not a World Series contending team in my eyes. Heck, this is barely a National League Central contending team in my eyes. I just don't think we have enough pitching. I don't think we have the right mix of guys who get on base because we're relying on the home run too much. And that bullpen that's been great, but this last week it hasn't, because it is very, very taxed because it has been used so much here in the first half. So I'm definitely going sell, and I think the only thing that remains after all is said and done come July 30th with the trade deadline is Wilson Contreras and Anthony Rizzo. I think you see Baez and Bryant gone from the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah,
which hurts.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, it does, but I don't see another option.
And here's the other thing that's surprising, and this tells you kind of how the state of baseball is right now. The Chicago Cubs have yet to have a true sellout since things have opened up to 100% capacity, which is shocking.
Wow, that is shocking.
But I heard that today, and so you haven't seen 40,000 plus yet in Wrigley. So
really,
yep. In Oakland, they had 4,600 on their first day of having 100%. 4,600.
Right.
Then you wonder why they want to move.
Well, it was a day game on a Thursday. I don't mean, who knows?
All right. But, hey, let's talk Cardinals real quick. They're slumping too. Not been a good month for the Redbirds. The All-Star break may be exactly what they need, though, to maybe take a couple days off and get everything back in their shape. We've talked many times about moving pieces. Are they buyers, sellers? There's not a whole bunch they can buy, and there's not a whole bunch they can sell, is there?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely not a lot they can sell and get anything of, to help them right away. But, depending on how they come out of the All-Star break, that first and second week, they can go on a run potentially, and the Brewers slump a little bit and get up in striking distance. If that happens, I can see them going and adding a few pieces. But right now it's hard to say which way they're going.
This first 2 weeks after the All-Star break is going to be a telltale sign in the National League Central of who's buying, who's selling, and who's contending. Because you could see the Brewers start running away with this if they stay hot the way they have, and the Cubs and Cardinals keep slipping.
They are, but you also got to look at, and I'm not taking away from the Brewers. I mean, they're a tremendous team, but they're getting, the contributions right now from players that aren't consistently giving contributions. They got right now Jace Peterson has been carrying them for the last week or so, and he's a good big league player, but he's not going to do that the rest of the season. So
agreed.
Can they continue to have somebody pick it up and carry them each week, or click? That's tough to do. I mean, you got look at the Dodgers and the tremendous team they have, and they're not consistently doing it. They're they have their runs that are bigger runs than most teams have,
right?
But at the same time, they're not just lights out dominant.
No, because the Giants are still leading that division. So
yeah.
All right, well, let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk Hector Santiago with the Mariners and his 10-game suspension due to foreign substance here on Full Count. You're listening to us on dingerbats.com and on 103.5 ESPN Radio.
Today's episode of Full Count is brought to you by Ford of Tuscola.
Check out the all-new Ford of Tuscola. It's a small-town feel with great big deals. Pre-owned vehicles starting at $24.95. Online at FordofTuscola.com or call 217-253-3353.
Welcome back to Full Count. Keith Gibson, Kyle Drone with you here on this 4th of July weekend. Thank you for taking time out of your holiday weekend to join us. We hope you're enjoying it and staying safe out there. Remember, if you've had too much to drink, make sure you designate a driver. We want to make sure you're here for next week, too, to listen to us each and every week. But, Kyle, let's move in.
On Saturday.
Yeah.
On Saturday morning.
Yeah, on Saturday mornings. Make sure you designate a driver. Hey, maybe they're still drinking from Friday night.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Hey, I'm always looking out for our faithful. Come on now.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Always give me a hard time about that. I tell you what. Anyway, let's talk Hector Santiago. Let's talk about he was the first player suspended for foreign substance. Mariners lefty. Came out, they said he had a sticky substance inside of his glove, but it was just rosin and sweat. Now, Major League Baseball didn't even look at his glove. Are you okay with this, but them just going on the umpire's decision and then throwing out a 10-game suspension? Or do you think MLB should have at least taken a look at his glove and inspected it a little bit to see what it is? Now, he's appealing the suspension, so he's still playing, but...
Well, I mean, is rosin and sweat not allowed?
Well, rosin, that's just it. That's my thing. It is. But the umpires decided it was a sticky substance.
Right. So, but they didn't have, like, I mean, are they going to have to get testing kits or something to, test it right there on the field to see if there is an illegal substance? I mean, I don't know. It seems odd to me that they can just implement a 10-game suspension based on what they think it is,
right?
Because it can be a sticky substance, but a legal sticky substance, which would be rosin and sweat or whatever. So yeah, it's odd, but you'll notice, and not taking away from this player, but he's not a big name player,
right?
You know what I mean? So they're going to test this theory out, see what happens, see what kind of backlash. Now, had this been Scherzer the other day,
oh boy,
I think it's it's a much bigger situation than it is Hector Santiago. What is his last name?
Hector Santiago.
Santiago. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who knows? The saga continues. We'll see what happens.
The one thing that I listened to and kind of read this week and it didn't dawn on me really is the difference between a 10-game suspension between a starter and a reliever. And I got to thinking about like, man, if a reliever's done for 10 days and you can't fill his void on a club because of that, that could put a big dent into a ball club and change the outcome of a lot of not just games, but pennant races.
Yeah, definitely affects more of an effect to a team as a reliever getting suspended than a starter, like we talked about. It's only 2 starts, most likely, and it's something I didn't really think about either, but also never really thought of relievers using illegal substances. I never, you just kind of think of them as just coming in and throwing 100.
Throwing the gas, Ricky.
Yeah. Give him the heater.
But you're right. But yes, I don't know if I'm okay with MLB. I'm okay with him suspending him if MLB inspects the glove. Like they put it in his bag
Right.
and everything and send it off. So it's just sitting in the bag. You aren't even going to take a look at it. If you're going to suspend a guy for 10 days, now he gets paid still. That's the thing. That's the thing with this. A lot of people aren't understanding is your 10-game suspension, you're still getting paid. It's not without pay. It's with pay.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, at the end of the day, they don't. The player doesn't want that. He doesn't obviously want to lose his paycheck, but 10 days off is not good.
no, it's not. But if you're MLB, you've got to inspect these things. If you're going to kick somebody out, throw them out, and then suspend them, you've got to inspect the glove.
Well, but this goes back to the unpreparedness of implementing this mid-season. You have to have people trained or people staffed at every stadium to be able to handle this situation if you're going to deal with it. So I don't know, where were they, when they made this decision, did they just think that umpires automatically were scientists and could tell what these substances were? Or are they just going with that's sticky, let's get it out of here?
I'm sure Joe West, he sees something sticky, he thinks it's a donut.
Oh gosh!
And I'm sure Angel Hernandez hadn't seen anything sticky in a while because he can't see the plate either. So he's awful. I can't stand him.
Oh yeah.
But there's only been one. Nobody else has been caught yet, and I don't expect anybody to get caught anytime soon.
And the thing about it is, how does he even prove his? I mean, if he appeals this, is he guilty until proven innocent? I mean, is the way it seems.
That's the way it seems, yeah. Because until they inspect the glove and find out exactly what it is on there, I mean,
and then
guilty.
I guess he has no backlash to them because he's still getting paid. So, what can a player do to go back?
You can't.
Maybe get a deferred payment.
Well, I don't even think he may not even get paid if this sticks, because think about it. You don't want that attached to your name if you're becoming a free agent or trying to sign somewhere else. It's always going to be with you.
Yeah, it's definitely not ideal, but I don't.
I guess he's anywhere anyway.
Hopefully he gets his name cleared if he didn't cheat. So
Hey, let's talk about one of your favorite players and a really exciting guy, a guy that I enjoy watching too. Started out as a shortstop, now plays outfield a little bit for the Washington Nationals. That's Trey Turner. I think he's back at short this year, isn't he?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So
I don't know if he's full time. I haven't got to watch a lot of national games, but I know he's been playing there a lot.
Yeah, Trey Turner hit for his 3rd cycle of his career. I mean, a cycle is hard to come by anyway, but this is his 3rd. And a guy that may be one of the most underrated players in baseball, not just because I like him to play with him on the show, but he's got speed. He hits for a little bit of pop. He can go gap to gap. And
he's a 5-tool player.
He is, and without a doubt.
And can play multiple positions, one being, the most important infield position. So, or one of the most important infield positions up the middle. So, yeah, I've always thought this kid was underrated. The things he can do with the bat. I mean, he's a 20 home run guy. He's going to hit you 70, 80 RBIs. He's going to steal 20 bags.
At least.
He's going to,
At least.
Yeah, at least. Yeah, and he's going to make plays in the field. He's not the greatest defender, but he's going to make the routine plays and can make some of the nicer plays as well. But I like him. I'm glad to see him having success. And 3 cycles. How many people have got 3 cycles in the major leagues?
Well, the record's 4 cycles for a career.
Wow.
and he's at 3, so
Yeah.
he's 1 away. But you got to think how many cycles are hitting a year. Very few, 1, 2 maybe. So to get 3 in a career is pretty amazing. But that just shows you, as you just said, his versatility. I mean, he's a guy who can hit line to line. He's going to hit 20 to 30 doubles a year, still 20 to 30 bags, hit 20 homers. I mean, he's a 20. He could potentially. I really think this. He could be a 30-30-30 guy. 30 doubles, 30 steals, 30 homers. And I wouldn't put that
for
by
sure.
me without a doubt. Defensively, he doesn't always flashy. He's not a Fernando Tatis or Javi Baez. Excuse me, but he makes the routine plays, and he does it.
But I tell you, and this isn't knocking Javi, but I'll take Trey Turner over Javi every day.
You know, Javi leads the league in errors, and Fernando's right behind him. Tatis is right behind him. They may make some great plays, but they also aren't consistent. And I would take – I agree with you. I would take Turner over both of those every day. Plus, Turner can play center field. Neither of those guys can.
Right. Yeah.
So, but, Trey Turner has quietly kind of led the Nationals back in contention with another guy whom the Cubs let go for a measly $7.8 million over the offseason, non-tendered, to sign Jock Peterson.
Good move.
Yeah, great move, Jed and the boys. Jiminy Christmas.
Hey, not only that, a community and fan favorite.
Yes, one of this show's host favorites, mine. Kyle Schwarber hit 16 home runs in 18 games in June. He's leading off for the Nationals, where Joe Madden originally put him, if you remember a couple years ago. He is hitting baseballs long distances, 430, 440 home runs. But here's what
the guy doesn't miss a fastball right now.
No, he is not. They got to look like beach balls to him.
Yeah. Because
he is hitting the mammoth out of the ball. But here's since June 12th, I want to read these stats to you. Kyle Schwarber, 16 home runs since June 12th.
Mm-hmm.
16 home runs were also hit by the Mets and Tigers as a team.
Right.
The Marlins had 15. Your Cardinals had 11. Yeah. And the Chicago White Sox had 8. As a team, Kyle.
Yeah.
He has been on fire. He has brought the Nats back to contention to lead the National League East. Of course, the Mets are still up there, and I don't know how. I really don't know how. I'm trying to figure it out. But they're getting good pitching right now. They really are, and it's amazing what the Mets have been able to do so far with their pitching staff. DeGrom's got an ERA over 1 now, though, because he allowed 3 earned runs on Thursday night in the first inning. So it just was a matter of time with him, too. And I don't think he's fully healthy. You?
No, it doesn't seem to be. I don't think it has anything to do with the sticky substance thing. I don't think he was one that ever needed that. But, it's I mean, he's somewhat human, but, I mean, still an amazing first half of the season for anybody.
So we talked last week about Max Scherzer being a possible trade candidate. With this hot streak by the Nats, I just don't see that happening now.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's better suited there. I think they were my pick in the East to start the year. I'd have to go back and check, but
pretty sure you're right on that one. I took the Phils, so
yeah. I mean, what kind of pick was that? But anyway,
I didn't pick the Mets.
No, the Nationals. I've always liked their makeup, and then the addition of Lester and Schwarber and what they already had there. Assuming and right now Soto's not really playing that great. So
there's
if
Josh
that
Bell.
kid ever, Josh Bell. They've got some thump, and if they can get up in contention and then have a little hot streak there towards the end, I think they can win that.
You know what the difference between them and the Cubs are? Kyle Schwarber.
Tell me.
Kyle Schwarber. He's going to end up being the one they let get away, Kyle Drone, and I will keep my Cubs Schwarber jersey forever because I love it, and my bat and autographed bat because I do love the guy. I think he's a great guy, and what he does off the field with his foundation is even better stuff. So, it's one I miss a lot in the Cubs lineup. But what you do. It's the Cubs. So, hey, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back, and we'll continue talking baseball right here on Full Count on 103.5 ESPN Radio. and at dingerbats.com.
Kester Homes is your full-service real estate team. They work all of Champaign County and a full 60-mile radius around. What really sets Kyle, Tiffany, and their team apart is they work with home buyers, home sellers, and build new construction homes. So they really are seeing all angles of the real estate industry, from existing homes, investment properties, and new construction. Contact Kester Homes at 217-390-5953 or visit online at kesterhomes.com. That's KOESTER homes.com. Kester Homes is a licensed real estate broker with the Keller Williams, the Real Estate Center of Illinois.
Welcome back, baseball fans, to Full Count. Keith Gibson, Kyle Drone with you. Thanks for joining us here on this holiday weekend. As we've talked Bobby Bonilla Day so far, we've talked Cubs and their no-hitter. We've talked sticky situations, and we've talked how Kyle Schwarber has left the Cubs high and dry to hit 16 home runs in June. It's all right. It's all right. It hurts the old heart, Kyle. It hurts the old heart. But, hey, let's talk about some potential trade deadline moves that could happen maybe even beforehand, some possible names that could be on the move, some that, may not, but I think we could see landing spots for them. We'll discuss those. So let's start in Pittsburgh. Our buddy Shelty, who we had on the show, our opening show, has a second baseman in Adam Frazier, who's leading the National League in hits.
Yep.
A guy who's going to be sought after by the Yankees. I've heard them. I've heard any of the Brewers have looked at him even as well. A lot of teams looking at Adam Frazier. Where could you see a guy? What's the best fit for Adam Frazier on a contending ball club?
Yeah, man, it's hard to fit or to consider that. Who do the Nationals have at second right now?
Josh Harrison.
Josh Harrison. Love Josh Harrison, just not really, doing it. I don't know if that will be a fit, if they would be, if he would be enough for them to, or Frazier be enough of an upside to make a switch there. But, Yankees got LeMahieu, and LeMahieu just hits. So I don't see him going there right now, unless they're going to try to move LeMahieu to another position to open that up.
Well, they kind of have here in the last week. They've moved LeMahieu's been playing a lot of third base.
Has his Andahar been hurt or just not performing?
I don't think he's performing. So, that kind of opens that door a little bit.
Yeah, so that's a great fit. And, I'm sure the Yankees have tons of farm pieces, which is what the Pirates would be looking for, because that's, obviously they're rebuilding. They would want, maybe something that could be pieced in right now, but 3 or 4 pieces that will be in the next 2-3 years. So, that's and Frazier, he's a great guy. I've not met him, but he actually hunts in the county north of here, up in Hamilton County, and the guys up there just have nothing but great things to say about him. So hopefully I'll get to meet him someday.
Yeah, tell him we'd like him on the show, will you?
Hey, that's the second thing I'm going to say after hi.
Perfect. Fantastic. Great. I've been thinking about this a little bit. I think Frazier is a good spot if the Yankees think they can contend. I don't think it's enough to get them over the hump either. Other contending teams I looked at, I looked at the White Sox. Madrigal was out. I think he is a perfect fit for the Chicago White Sox. It gives him a guy who can hit, get on base in front of Abreu, in front of a returning Luis Robert, who I've read it could be 3-4 weeks away.
Yeah. That brings up an interesting question. Do you do that and put Nick back another year in his development if he's your top prospect or one of your top prospects? You know what
Madrigal?
I mean? That's
Well,
those are guys.
Right, but he's hurt and he's not going to come back this year. So Frazier then, moves there. But yeah, I see your point then, because then where do you put him next year?
Right. That's that's a big picture thing with some of these guys, especially your younger players, and maybe they just fit him in because they didn't have another option. And maybe if they get closer to contention, then Frazier is that option, and maybe it does push, Magro back a little bit. But just a thought.
Yeah, that's a great thought. I just think he's a good fit right now with Madrigal out for the rest of the year to be kind of a table setter with Tim Anderson there. If you get Robert back and if you get Jimenez back later in the year, that could potentially – you think about that. If the White Sox get Frazier, a guy who gets on base at the clip he does and puts the ball in play in front of a – late in the season and playoffs in front of a Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert, and Jose Abreu, they could put up some runs. So I think
there's no doubt. Yeah.
And other than that, the only other place I really thought he'd be a good fit would be Oakland. But Oakland is also, I don't know if they'll spend money or want to give up. I just don't know what Oakland's going to do. Nobody ever knows what Oakland's going to do.
I think, and I think the bigger picture there is Oakland, is looking to move. That's the focus. That's not that they're taking completely away from the team and winning, but the bigger picture there is to relocate and get that team to Vegas or Nashville or something.
Right. Agreed. All right, let's talk another player here. Let's talk Chicago Cub third baseman Chris Bryant. Where is a good fit for the product out of San Diego State?
Well, going right back to the Yankees, they need a third baseman that would be able to put LeMahieu back at second. That's a potential situation because the Cubs have to get something back from him.
So do you Gleyber Torres?
Well, that would be something. I don't know that would be enough. I don't know if you want to go. That kind of to me looks like a 1-for-1 trade. And, if Brian ain't going to bring it to you, then, just Torres isn't going to do it either. I think you need to, look at that. And I know you don't want to look at this because it takes time. You got to rebuild. And
I'm okay with it. I am okay with it, Kyle, to be honest with you.
It's always tough. It's always tough to have success and then, go through the 3 to 5 years it takes to rebuild. And that still doesn't guarantee anything. But I think that's what the Cubs got to do. And if you can get 5 or 6 pieces from Bryant that are, 2 to 3 years away, then I think that's your best play. But I don't also know what the Yankees have in the farm system either.
Let me throw these teams out to you and tell me yay or nay on these. The Mets.
I don't think they have enough.
The Phillies.
That's a good one. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I think the Phillies will be a good fit. They do have quite a bit in the farm system, and they're lacking at third. So, that's an interesting one. But yeah, I think he'd fit in good there.
Okay, 2 more for you. They're both one's National League, one American League. The Dodgers.
No.
No?
I don't see him fitting with the Dodgers.
Okay, and finally, the White Sox. Could you pull that crosstown trade off?
That will be tough. I can see him fitting there as a player, but there's that other side that you just mentioned, and I'm not sure what the White Sox have to offer. I don't know. I feel like the Cubs would have to get even a little bit more from the White Sox just because it's the White Sox.
Even a Michael Kopech?
Is that all you're going to get?
Well, no. You're going to have to get more than that, but that's the thing.
It's
a pipe dream, I know, for White Sox fans, but it's a possibility, too.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. But, I don't think that the Cubs would – I don't think the White Sox would give up enough for the Cubs to make that deal personally. But, prove me wrong. Whatever. I just don't see it. And Kopech being – what he is,
he's going nowhere,
or what he potentially could be.
He's going nowhere. He's going nowhere.
He's going nowhere. Yeah, exactly. That's what I just didn't want to hurt your feelings.
That's all right. He's going nowhere. We both know that.
Right.
Sometimes it's fun to make up those scenarios. All right, two more players I want to talk about real quickly. One's Joey Gallo of the Texas Rangers. Rangers abysmal this year, but Gallo's got some potential. Really can't play third base anymore. Not great defensively, but has a lot of pop. Where do you think he could end up?
I mean, not a contender, really. I don't see a contender wanting to put that in your lineup. Yeah, he hits the ball a long way, but I mean, where is he at strikeout rate or, compared to Javi Baez?
Pretty close.
I mean,
pretty close.
Yeah. So without the defensive aspect and, a history of clutch, I mean, I think it's fun to watch him when he hits it, but I can't imagine any contender really needing that in their lineup.
The only team I really thought was either Oakland, but I know they probably won't want to trade in division, or Cleveland. And you're right, I don't see him going National League without a doubt because of just the defensive liability he is. So
right.
I thought Cleveland could maybe add a little pop to their lineup. They're still within striking distance of the White Sox. So that was really about the only place. In Oakland, I just thought, well, they're close to the Astros, but I don't see it staying that close. But they may make a deal for somebody who can give them a little
For some reason, I keep forgetting about Cleveland. I know they're
don't worry, everybody does.
Well, they're a good ball club, and I don't see them enough, and they just surprise me. But yeah, that's a great point. He could definitely be something there. I don't know what they have at the DH spot right now.
Not much.
And if that,
Not much.
Well, obviously, if they're looking for Gallo, but yeah, I mean, he's a lot of thump just once a week.
Strikeouts. Yeah, that's right. Last name on the books for today in this segment, then we'll take a quick break. Baltimore Orioles Trey Mancini. Going to be in the home run derby. Overcame a lot in the offseason. Having one of the best years of his career. His stock's up on a team that is rebuilding and kind of the same boat the Pirates are in. It's a guy that hasn't been talked about being on the move, but could be. So if you're looking at it, maybe going after a guy who's not real expensive, but can give you life and a great ball player, and Trey Mancini, where would he end up?
Man, I could see him ending up just about anywhere, but I'm not sure. I mean, he could be a DH for an American League team, but he is a very solid defender at first, so he could go National League as well. I'm trying to think of some openings that on a contending team, and the only thing I can think of is if I don't know what they're paying Josh Bell, but he's not really performing at the level, so he would be a great fit in Washington. The Mets, I just don't see them keeping up for the long term, so I don't think that would be a move they would make. But
what about the Giants? Yeah. And maybe going with a little swap with Brandon Belt. Belt's had some injuries this year. I could see that if they want to try to make a move. As I said, no one's really talked about Mancini being traded. I think the Orioles want to hang on to him. But a guy whose value is probably peak of where it is, I could see him being moved in a deal somewhere.
Right. But, I mean, I kind of feel like, and I'm not, obviously I don't know for sure, but I feel like Belt, Posey, and their shortstop Crawford are just kind of the staples of San Fran, and I don't see that move being made. And when Belt's on, I mean, kid can hit and plays a tremendous first base. Yeah.
But and I think everybody's thankful it does too.
Right. But yeah, I can't see that. I mean, that ballpark doesn't really, help Trey Mancini out anyway as well. But I can't see, aside from that point, I just see Belt staying in San Fran. Even though they both have orange in their uniforms.
Right.
I know what you're thinking.
I know.
But
hey, one last guy I want to throw it out at you, and it comes from the Pirates too, and I just thought of this. They're looking to get younger. Does Gregory Polanco stay around as he get dealt the break? Does Shelty keep him, or is he getting to that age where we need to move him on?
I'm just not sure you're going to get much for him right now. He's just not. I mean, he's got the upside. He's just not. Ever since Marte and McCutcheon left, he's lost that protection and kind of that camaraderie with Marte. I think Marte and him were close and kind of helped motivate him and keep him going. So, yeah, I mean, I think it would help both sides if they could move him. I'm just not sure the Pirates would get much back.
Well, I'm not either, but I think he's a definite change of scenery guy. They always talk about a guy change of scenery, and I think that is a perfect example of a guy who, if he can get moved at the break, could have a big second half after the trade deadline. Just because I think it's fresh.
Yeah, I mean the talent's there, man. I mean he's 6'5", 220. Can crush the ball.
Not like me.
Has a cannon. Yeah, I mean. Sometimes when I never mind.
I know where you're going with that. Yeah, we're good. Hey, let's take a quick break and we'll come right back here on the show and we'll talk some of our favorite All-Star moments here on Full Count. We'll be right back here after break.
Today's episode of Full Count is brought to you by Bees Trees.
Bees Trees, your local ISA certified arborist with over 10 years experience, specializing in tree removal, tree trimming, and with free estimates. Call Greg Miller of Bees Trees today at 217-260-4551.
Back here on Full Count, Keith Gibson, Kyle Drone with you, and happy 4th of July weekend. Hope you're enjoying the show today. You've had your cup of coffee and getting ready to talk about some favorite All-Star moments that we've had between us. And what's yours? Let us know. Follow us on Twitter, _the show, or you can join our Facebook group, Full Count the Podcast, and we will love to hear what your favorite All-Star game memories are. Kyle Drone, I'll let you start. What's yours?
Well, I've got a few. I was actually in attendance for Mariano Rivera's last appearance in an All-Star game at Citi Field a few years back. That was pretty exciting, pretty electric being in New York, even though it was on the north side. The buzz was pretty crazy there. And then, the first dinger hit in an All-Star game. Which I can't remember if it was Pence or Marte who got the first one, but they both got hits, and it was pretty exciting.
That's pretty awesome. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. One of my favorite memories and moments has definitely been when Ted Williams threw out the first pitch and Tony Gwynn was there and everybody was around. That's one of my favorites.
Boston?
Yep, in Boston at Fenway. Yeah. That's one of my favorite moments. One of my other favorite moments is when the Cubs hosted the World Series back in '90.
All-Star game.
The All-Star game, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, you know what I meant. Yeah. Golly, I can't always be right.
Well, did they have the lights on back then? I'm not joking.
Yeah,
when was it? Okay.
88. 88 was.
Did they ever have an All-Star game before that?
No, and they haven't had one since.
No. Yeah.
Which is a shame.
An All-Star or a hosted game?
They haven't hosted an All-Star game. Come on now.
Okay.
Golly. But, it's one of my favorite moments, too. It's always neat. I think it'd be a lot of fun if they would, because I think the home run derby would be a blast in Wrigleyville and see if anybody could hit, the rooftop like Glen Allen Hill did there a few years back. But that's one of my favorite moments, too. And it's just, I remember as a kid, always getting excited to watch the All-Star game. No matter where you were, what you were doing, you wanted to make sure you were watching the All-Star game. You had great shortstops back in the day of Ozzie and Larkin, and you had Ripken too. It was all
they played.
Guys.
They played to win. They played to win for pride back then, and the guys went. I mean, their starters played 5-6 innings. It's not that I don't want the other guys to get the experience or whatever, but this one at bat and out, kind of stuff is, it's kind of it's such an exhibition now.
It is.
That, I'm not saying I hate it, but it was it was really fun growing up watching them, go at it like a regular game. Like we're gonna win.
Remember Bo Jackson hitting the leadoff home run against Rick Russell?
No, oh yeah.
I remember watching that. I remember guys like Eric Davis playing, and it's just a collection of talent that there's no other place you would have seen it or been able to watch it besides the All-Star game. That's what makes the All-Star game in Major League Baseball so special. Griffey hitting the ball in, All-Star festivities, a home run derby. Griffey hitting the ball off the warehouse in Camden Yards. Josh Hamilton hitting so many. It's those type
McGuire
of
did the same. McGuire did the same thing in Boston. He set a record, I think.
Right, yeah, and he's hit some bombs. I love the home run derby. I do. I like the new format. I know you do too. Correct?
Oh yeah, the new format is so much better and so much more exciting. It brings it into more of like a 3-point contest, where the clock's running and you can just keep going as many as you can hit in that time frame. So yeah, I really like that.
To me, it's fun. The All-Star festivities are fun, and those are some moments that I'll never forget. Sosa McGuire being there in '98, having fun.
Mm-hmm.
They were on the race and all the hype around that, and it's just. I hope you could. I think the biggest moment for me, and then the biggest memory I have, Kyle, though, is every All-Star game. I sat down with my old man, and we would watch it together. And
that's cool.
And we would sit and watch, and he would, guys, especially when I was younger. Well, I remember watching his dad play, George Brett, and he'd tell me the backstory of how he's seen guys play. And I remember watching Willie Mays, and so that to me is special moments, and that's what the All-Star game brings out. And I hope I'm looking forward to doing that with my son when he gets a little older. I know you will too. So it's fun. So I hope everybody gets to watch the All-Star game this week from Colorado coming up. So here's my question. How many does Shohei hit? Will we see Shohei put on a show in Coors Field?
I think so, man. He keeps surprising me with his talent and the balls that he's hitting them out. Sometimes it almost looks like he's off balance, and he's still generating that much power. I don't know if it's the leverage because his height and just where his timing's just unbelievable right now. I don't know, but it's fun to watch, and I think in that type of setting, I mean he's gonna put on a show.
I think he will
as well as all of them. I think they all are.
I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun to watch, and I can't wait for it and see what it brings. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll make the call to the bullpen and close up the show here on Full Count. We're back here after these messages.
Today's episode of Full Count is brought to you by Morgan's Place.
Morgan's Place Canine Salon has been offering exclusive one-on-one grooming services in the Champaign area for over 12 years, using all-natural products, giving lots of love to your dog. Visit www.morgansplace.me to learn more. Morgan's Place, making dogs beautiful.
Welcome back to Full Count, ladies and gentlemen. Keith Gibson, Kyle Drone, closing up the show with you as we make the call to the bullpen and call on the closer. But no, really, we've enjoyed spending the holiday weekend with you on this Saturday morning. Kyle Drone, a lot to talk about. We talked about Bobby Bonilla Day. We've talked about the Cubs combined no-no and they can't win a ball game. Surprise, surprise. We've talked about Hector Santiago and his sticky situation. We've talked about our favorite All-Star game memories, but as we close up the show, we want to remind you that in case you missed any portion of this week's episode, you can always download it at dingerbats.com on Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, or your favorite place you download any music, because we're everywhere. YouTube, you can find us on YouTube. Make sure you join our Facebook group, Full Count, the podcast, or you can follow us on Twitter. Make sure you follow Dinger Bats, too. Kyle, you got a big sale going on right now, all-star sale I see on bats. Make sure you get your trophy bats, your, customized bats right there from Kyle and the guys at Dinger, and we appreciate you guys, all your hard work. I know you're busy, but you're getting them in and out, aren't you?
Yeah, we're doing
That's
good.
what
We're
she
keeping-
said.
We're keeping up with it.
I was waiting for that one.
Oh,
Oh, but no, hey.
what's that?
I was waiting to get you on that one. Hey, we want to make sure everybody has a fun and safe 4th of July weekend. Enjoy family time, enjoy friends, and, of course, enjoy some great baseball. So for my tag team partner, Kyle Drone, I am Keith Gibson. This has been another episode of Full Count. We hope you'll tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your mama, tell everybody you know about Full Count, and help us grow by sharing the show. We will see you next Saturday morning. Have a great week, everybody, and remember to play ball!